TidBits. And 2015 was a very eventful year as well, including good and bad games, but this time I'm going to focus on the really bad games. Man, there's a huge laundry list to deal with this year on awful games. First of all, there's a few rules I'm laying down here for games to qualify to actually be the worst. First off, no easy targets, which mean no kid games, no premiums or movie tie-ins. And second, they have to be full release, which means no early access or free demos. So let's pick down the top 10 worst video games of 2015.
Number 10. What better way to start off this list by the number of recycled games in this Mario spin-off? Mario Party 10 just doesn't provide anything innovative and fun anymore like in the Nintendo 64 days. Nowadays, it's all too similar to virtual board games that you'll find on mobile apps. It looks like Nintendo failed to keep up with the changing market and what to expect on home consoles. I'm sorry, but it's time to put Mario Party to rest. Number 9. I usually don't care about shooters, but this one I have to talk about. For some who are avid game players of Battlefield, this is just a slap in the face. First of all, you're not on a battlefield at all, but a cop taking down suspects and making arrests. It should really be called Police State Hardline rather than Battlefield. The game is so repetitive and mundane that your limited arsenal, dumb AI, and the most easiest arrest make this get boring after a while.
Follow him with your scanner to make sure he doesn't blow this.
Number 8. Taking a look at this makes you think the only thing fitting for this game is a title. It's mocking you because you'll be having a temper tantrum once you start playing this broken mess that makes you wonder how it even got through Greenlight on Steam. The same developers who made last year's abomination, The Slaughtering Grounds, were at it again this year with another stinker. This time you play as a toddler trying to avoid bedtime while your objective is to destroy everything in the house while fueling up on sweets where, oh my god, the controls are worse when you're high on sweet treats. And the camera just has a seizure. Look, I can't get out of this room. Great, now the nap time monster got me. Number 7. Man, talk about a teenage angst taken to extreme. This is what happens when you take the dreams of Holden Caulfield and the Columbine shooters and bring them to life. Yes, this is shooting up people in random settings like a suburban neighborhood, a train station, and good God, a school for crying out loud. Makes the creators have nothing else dark enough to think about or anything creative, just inspired by actual events. And yes, that is all you do in the game. The player has no motive. He is kind of a hypocrite for saying that he hates humanity, because wouldn't that also kill himself as well? Oh wait, which he does wish to do. Also, why is everything in black and white with the exception of red? Next, number 6. I was thinking whether or not I should put this on the list, as I wasn't sure if it was a tie-in with last year's Godzilla movie. This didn't seem to be the case as I looked into it. So yes, this crapfest counts. On top of having very dated graphics, boring gameplay, and a mundane versus mode that requires online multiplayer to even work, most of the game revolves around smashing generators with your monster to complete levels and a diorama project from the 3rd grade. Who even gives a fuck? Number 5. Why was this needed? You may have mixed opinion on the 2009 game based on the animated series, Afro Samurai. I'm okay with that. But it's not okay with this poor excuse of an unwanted and unnecessary sequel that barely works, topped with poor sound mixing. Here you play as Kuma, the teddy bear masked bad guy from the last game, as a dreaded corpse getting his revenge on the titular hero who killed him. The voice acting is horrible, as it sounds like everything was recorded inside a storm pipe by random people picked off the street.
End of the road, bitch. Time to die.
Number 4. After the damage that Ride and Shred inflicted on the Tony Hawk skateboarding simulator, with its terrible motion controller that doesn't even work, the Tony Hawk Pro Skater license has been pretty much dead. But nope, Activision responded to Guitar Hero's return and just had to dig this up from the graveyard and rush it out as an incomplete mess. With a 13-year gap between Pro Skater 4, and with way less content, makes it an insult to anyone growing up playing the games, with outdated graphics and bland, empty levels. The clunky controls and hilarious bugs make it difficult to execute tricks to the point your skater will appear to have a tantrum trying to smash his own skateboard. Damn you! I'm trying to flip and do a combo! Number 3. Konami, the whole company. Look at all the tomfoolery they pulled this year to piss fans off. Now, this isn't about a single game unless you count the mobile games and the pachinko machines. This has to do with the company leaving the AAA market and the secret firing of Hideo Kojima. If you thought the canceling of Silent Hills and the recall of the PT demo was bad enough, well, they decided to make a Silent Hill pachinko machine! With Kojima gone, there's no excuse to follow Konami and hope they appear at other conventions to announce future titles, which explains why the entire company is on this list. Number 2. Yarg! Experience the treasure trove that is Raven's Cry for terrible lip-syncing and game-breaking bugs. You probably saw this coming, as several videos have shown this travesty of an unfinished mess from those dumb enough to spend over $50 on Steam. Raven's Cry is an open-world pirate game that tries to mimic Assassin's Creed and fails miserably on so many levels. Like, for example, improper audio syncing in scenes like this.
That's right, baby. Old Pete's gonna give you a proper ride.
Why don't we go into the room, Pete?
Calm down, friend. I just need her for a minute. She'll be back on your lap in no time. Okay.
Or non-existent AI for both enemies and NPCs that spawn randomly or don't spawn at all. Pointless and redundant combat make the sword fighting mechanic look as if you're waving a magic wand in front of your enemies just hoping they disappear. This game just tried way too hard to make their main character look cool. He's obviously just boring and not interesting to follow. Dated graphics and low resolution make this look like it came straight off the PlayStation 2. Trust me, you'll not just hear a raven cry, but yourself as well. And the number 1 worst game of 2015 is Alone in the Dark Illumination. As if the disastrous 2008 reboot of the series wasn't enough, or the Uwe Boll movie wasn't enough to signal the death of the classic survival horror franchise, you'll look no further than Illumination. To start off, it's a completely different game than any of its predecessors, as it's merely an online-only co-op shooter, which makes you neither alone nor in the dark, as most of the levels are completely lit up, and the purpose of co-op is to, well, play with each other. You'll notice that there's no Edward Carnby, or an interesting plot to follow. You pick your character and class, which makes this more like a BioShock and Mass Effect clone in terms of combat. Enemies spawn at random, with terrible AI and easy one-hit kills to your character to just serve as a cheap jump scare. The only part of Alone in the Dark Illumination is that you'll hardly ever have someone to play with, as nearly all of the servers are empty, which tells you the word spread quick about how big of a scam this game is, that no one should play.
So here you go. It was pretty easy to come up with really bad games for this list though, but however, let's hope there's even better games coming out next year. I'm Marlo Nama, signing off.